and gentlemen, Dan Bach here today to talk to you about the world's easiest profit and loss statement. This is the easiest way to improve your finances with your business and personally. Um, it's called calculating your net worth. And what they say is if you can measure something, you can improve it. So that's what this is about, is taking a measurement of our finances, whether it be personal or business or both, and then seeing what it's telling us in that measurement. Are we making money, losing money? And then acting upon that information to improve it. I learned this in 2018 at a time when I was doing Amazon and I was stuck. My finances, I was in a lot of debt and I didn't know what to do. I was trying everything to make it happen and just like nothing was clicking, but I didn't know anything about accounting. And this was the very first thing that I did. Second, actually, I'll say. But this is the easiest point where you can get a lot of leverage. Um, I the thought came into my head to do this when I was at a 8-figure Amazon seller's warehouse in New Jersey. Shout out Sam Cohen. And he was my mentor at the time. I was doing about $15,000 to $20,000 in sales a month on Amazon with about a 20% profit margin. But again, I had a lot of debt, so I wasn't getting anywhere. And I didn't know how to get to the next level. So I talked to this guy, Michael, who was also at the warehouse that day. Sam used to host these classes there. And Michael was a guy who, nice Jewish gentleman. Sam, of course, was also Jewish. And there's this trope that the Jews are really good at business. I don't know what I should say about this. This is like, but anyway, it's true. At least that's the stereotype. So anyway, Michael, though, was not previously. His story was that he was in a lot of debt and had basically, hit his like 40s, maybe even early 50s, and was just like at the end of his rope. Like he didn't know what else to do. And so he went to Sam, and Sam helped him get his business started. And ultimately, like within the first year on Amazon, he did like $2 million in sales and made about $400,000. So I met Michael during his like second or third year selling on Amazon at Sam's warehouse. And what a kind gentleman. And I stopped to talk to him in the hallway. I just wanted to introduce myself. And I asked him, I was like, Michael, my name's Dan. Nice to meet you. And I was just wondering, do you have any advice? Like I'm kind of in a similar situation that you were. And he said to me, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is did the bank account go up this month or not? That's it. Did the bank account go up or did it go down? Simplest thing. So this is how we figure out that, how we act on that. So in 2018, I took a basic accounting course and learned QuickBooks. But this spreadsheet that I'm showing you here was the answer to a lot of my issues with managing the money coming in and out of my business. It's just a basic sheet for tracking your net worth. And if you're someone who's not doing this will change your life. So I'm going to show you, this is an example of kind of how it works. And then you can fill in the numbers for yourself. I'm just going to walk you through how to create this sheet and put it all together so you can have one for yourself. And if you're working with me one-on-one, I will definitely walk you through this and help you get it set up properly. But if you just watch this video, you'll be able to do the same. So at any rate, and again, the reason why this works is because if you can measure something, you can manage it. If you can measure something, you can grow it. And so this is basically taking a measurement of your finances and then learning how to grow it. In the left-hand column here under column A, we have the assets, which at the time, this was my personal bank account, my business account, checking, personal checking account, business checking account. This is the overall worth of the inventory that I had. So this is what the cost of what I paid for the inventory. And then this is how much money I had in my Amazon account at the time in January of 2019. Now, I wish I had my old spreadsheet when I started doing this in 2018, because you would see how far I was in the hole and how I was able to climb out of it. But I don't know where that sheet went. I might have deleted the information. At any rate, you can still see a portion of this. You can see the progression. Um, so, again, we add up the total assets, and at that time, on January 18th of 2019, I had a total assets of $77,988.50. Liabilities, this is debts, so any money that I owed. This is my American Express card. I owed $15,000, $377.30 on that. Another credit card, I owed $8,092. I had a student loan at the time that I owed $8,644, and I had another loan. This is actually a Tony Robbins loan that I owed $1,300 on, and I had total liabilities of $33,445 and 57 cents. So if you want to calculate your net worth, you total up your assets. So that's this number here, 77,000, and then you subtract your liabilities. That's this number here, 33,445, and you get your net worth, $44,542.93. Then the magic, the secret, is to do this exact same calculation the next month. And then, as you can see, the next month, my total assets went up to $143,050.01. And then I had an increase of liabilities of $73,943.76. But my net worth went up by $24,563.32. So, and then the following month, you can see again, my total assets actually decreased slightly month over month, but it was $106,200.63. And then my total liabilities, however, decreased drastically. They went down by about $50,000. And I had a total net worth at that time of $84,885.07. And the monthly change was an improvement of $15,778.82. So here's the magic of this sheet, is you can see where your money is going. And when you can see where your money is going, you can tell it where to go instead of just letting it go wherever it's going. Now, let me illustrate that for you. So as you can see, across all these dates, my personal checking, I just didn't keep a lot of money in there at that time. In the business account, however, there was a lot of change. This went from $9,511.90 to $36,000 the next month to $26,000 the month after that. Inventory. So again, this is the amount of money I paid for the inventory I had. It went from $53,000 to $81,000, back down to about $60,000. My Amazon account, $15,000 up to $24,000, and then down to $19,000. And I can tell you, I was cranking in January of that year and February of that year. And when I started to see I was making a pile of money, I took my foot off the gas a little bit, because I had money for the first time in my life. So that was cool. And then, you can see the difference between my American Express bill. I was at $15,377 in January. And then 1 month later, it went up by, $42,000. So now you can see, okay, I spent an extra $42,000 because I was using this card to purchase inventory. So I spent $42,000 here. Well, guess what? Now I can see that some of that $42,000 went into the inventory. So that's part of the reason why we went from $53,000 here to $81,000 here. So you can start to see kind of where the money is moving. Because as I took on more debt here with the American Express, that debt got turned into product that I purchased, which increased this number from 53 to 81. And then, as you can see, I decided the next month, since I was slowing down a bit, I didn't go out and purchase as much inventory, and so I converted more of my cash into paying off debts. So the following month, I only had a debt of 6,278, and then, as you can see as well, my inventory levels went down by about 21,000 as well, and also my business account also went down again because I paid off a significant amount of the American Express debt, um, as well as I paid off this loan here. So you can see how when you move money from the asset to the debts, you can see where the money is flowing. Money is called currency because it flows like the current of a river, the same root word. It's like currere or something like that in Latin. I don't know how to say it exactly, but it's Currere, something like that. But money flows through the economy. It flows through your pocketbook. It flows through your business in and out. And if you're not telling it where to go, it will flow into someone else's pocket. And so this is you taking command of that flow of currency and flowing it into the accounts and pockets and buckets that you want it to, and not having it leak all over the place so you don't know where it's going. So that's how this is very, very important. Now, so we've got this. How do you create one of these for your own? Because it really is just as simple as this little spreadsheet here. So you want to have assets, list out your assets, and then you want to have a row here that totals it up for you. So there's a formula here. And then you want to have your liabilities, and then all of your liabilities, your debts that you have listed out. And then you have a little formula here that totals it up as well. And then that formula is across all of them, right? And then you've got another formula that gives you your total net worth. So it calculates everything for you. And then a formula that calculates the change. So you can see how good or bad you're doing. And once you commit to doing this every single month, it's kind of like going to the gym, but for your finances, you'll start to see improvements if you're committed to making that change. Now, there is something that I would add to this sheet that I did not have previously, is a goal. So actually, we'll put this goal net worth, we'll call it. And we'll say 10 million. I feel like that's a pretty good number. What about you? Let me know in the comments. So that's $10 million. So we want this number to equal that one day. And we'll add the 100. How about a 1 penny just for kicks? So we have a goal net worth of $10 million with 1 cent. And now we can kind of work towards something. So we're not just, I started this sheet originally trying to get out of debt. Now we can take this and, use it to motivate us towards something positive, which is very important. We have 2 motivators in the world that we experience: pain and pleasure. So we want to use pain to motivate us to get us out of a bad situation, but we also want to have pain to move us towards a good one. So that's the kind of the idea here, is like get out of debt and also have like a excellent net worth. How you can start to manipulate the sheet for your own. There's a lot of videos out there about Excel, but I will give you a quick rundown on how to do this. So you want to put you can pick any day of the month. It does not matter. Just make it consistent. So at that time, I would pick the 18th. And so I would either get it done on the 18th or the 19th or around the 17th. You just want to be as consistent as possible. So once a month, some people will do this like every 2 weeks. You can do that, but once a month is sufficient. So you want to add up all your assets. You could actually add like cash on hand. So let me show you how to add a column, or this is a row, excuse me. So we'll just right click on this number here, and then we can click insert one row above like we just did. And so we can add cash on hand. So this is like any money that you have lying around your house. And I happen to know that I've got about $500 sitting in my department at the moment. We don't have to add the money sign there, but we'll just say it's $500. And we want to make sure that this formula incorporates that. So I'll show you how to run that formula in just a second. So now we've got our cash on hand in there. Again, you just insert that row by right-clicking these numbers on the left-hand side of the spreadsheet. I use Google Docs. You can do this with Excel, and then I think Apple has Numbers is their version of it. But I just use Google Docs. Boom. You've inserted that row there. Now you can add more if you want. So if you have more assets, insert another row. If you want to delete a row, you can, let's see, just right click and delete it. And so if you have less assets, you can add like your personal vehicle if you want. I never did, but you can totally do that if you've got a lot of money tied up in that. So I'm just going to delete this row. And I would add the cash on hand. And so maybe you could just add like, make this 700 and make this one like 300 for fun. Now this formula, let me show you how to generate this. So you could either write that out manually. How to create a formula in Excel or Sheets is to basically hit the cell here with the equal button. So type in equal, and then it's giving me the prompt to give the sum. But I want to show you as well, like you can do a lot of different stuff with this. You can just write the word sum, and then you can give it the exact cells that you want to sum. So this is C. So this column here is C, row 3. So we could write C3. And then how they do the sum here is use the colon, and then we want it to add up from C3 to C7. So we'll just write that out. And then close it with a parenthesis, hit enter, and now it's adding all of these. So if I change this, for example, to 0 and hit enter, now we've just gone down by that amount. So like $9,000 less. So I'll show you. Put that back in, this number goes back up. It just automatically calculates whatever numbers that we put in here. So if we change this to 20,000, boom, it's changed now 20,000 or, to 45 from 78. And then as we get into a new month, let's say we're adding up our new numbers. This is 400. We're going to say that this number is 200. The business account now has $15,000 in it. The inventory now has 80,000. We got an extra 0 there. Isn't that always nice, right? And then the Amazon account, let's say it has 25,000. So we don't have to make sure that all the decimals match or anything like that. But another way that we can add the sum is you can notice in the bottom right here, it gives us a sum on the bottom right of the spreadsheet, just automatically, like if we highlight a bunch of cells. So if we click the cell, left click, hold down shift, boom, there we go. And then what we can do with that is actually just hit this button here, and it'll give us the formula. Boom, F3 plus F7, or anything through F7. That's the total assets, is 120,000. Let's add in a decimal, some cents, just to make it look correct. Now, so that's the total assets. Another way to create this same formula, which is easier, is to see, like, okay, we've got the formula here, and now it's there as well. And all you got to do is within Excel and Google Sheets, you just grab this dot. So you click on the cell, wait for the dot to pop up. On numbers, it's a little different, but it's kind of the same thing. You click on the dot, hold it down, and drag it over to the next cell, and boom, it drags the formula to make it work with this new column. And then you would do the same thing with your liabilities. So we can just actually do that as well. If we would just want to copy numbers and move them over, boom, we just highlight them. Again, it gives us the sum here if we want, but then we can take this dot, click on it, drag it over, and there we go. Now we're going to change up our liabilities a little bit. We're going to add, just for fun, we'll add like 30,000 to this. So we'll just call this 36,000. And then again, we're going to drag this formula from the liabilities over, and now we have a total liabilities of, well, we got to make sure that this number is negative because we're adding. So we're adding this positive number with these negative numbers to get negative 51,000. And then this is the same thing. We want to add for our net worth. We want to add up the assets plus this negative number, the liabilities. So adding your assets up with your liabilities, that equals that number. We can just drag that over. Now we get a formula where we've got $120,000 in assets and a total liabilities of 51,000 with a total net worth of $69,163.72. And then we'll have a monthly change because this is another formula. So we're subtracting D17 from E17. So we're basically subtracting this number from the previous number. Or, excuse me, pardon me. We're adding, no, we are subtracting, yes. So we are subtracting C17 from D17. So we're minusing this number from this number. So we're minusing, we have 69,000 and then we're subtracting 45,000 from it, and that's where we get the monthly change. In this case, we're subtracting this number here, E17, 84,000. We're taking that number, 84,000, and then subtracting the 69,000 number, and that's how we get the 15,000. So this number will be hold on, let me just do it, yeah. Ooh, it's a loss that month, but that's why you do it. So this number is E17, this number, or pardon, it's F17 minus E17. And yeah, there you go. So this number minus that equals a negative monthly change of $15,721.35. There we go. So we don't want to do that. So the next month we're going to make some changes so we can keep this goal in mind. But if you do this every single month for the rest of your life, this is the most basic financial health, like to keep track of your financial health. This is the equivalent of hopping on the scale, once a month while you're trying to lose weight. Or if you're trying to lose weight, you typically get on the scale at least once a week. But this is the equivalent of that, is managing where your money is flowing and telling it where to go. The other components that are important is learning how to do a profit and loss statement, keep track of your balance sheet, which this essentially is a balance sheet, and then having a budget as well. So a budget is like telling your money where to go at the beginning of the month, and your profit and loss statement tells you where it went at the end of the month. So a budget is a plan, a profit and loss statement is like the autopsy. And yeah, there you go. Your first balance sheet is this, and you're on your way to this goal of a net worth of $10 million. Hit me with any questions you got in the comments, and or if we're to work on one-on-one, let me know if you got any more questions.